So I follow a channel, Sabine Hossenfelder. She's a German physicist. She's world renowned. She's brilliant. She's funny. And I like physics type videos and information. She just put out a video about eating the bugs. And I left her a nice, friendly comment. Here's my comment. Utter nonsense, pun intended. A cow is actually either carbon neutral or actually carbon negative. Here's why. Average lifespan of a beef cow is 1.5 to 2 years. Average weight of a beef cow is between 900 and 1,300 pounds. That's a lot of carbon sequestering there going on there. In the meantime, that same cow will emit, through burps and farts, something like 220 pounds per year. So if the cow only lives for 2 years before it goes to the slaughterhouse, that's 440 pounds of burps and farts. In the meantime, you're gonna harvest between 900 and 1,300 pounds of carbon-based animal life form, because I'm carbon-based and so are you, so are cows. That's a lot of sequestering. That's not even to mention the manure. The manure is so fertile, it's unbelievable. There's a guy, I think he's in Africa or maybe India, forgive me if I get this wrong, and they're revitalizing the soil, the infertile soil, because they raise a bunch of cows in a paddock, and then they walk them out to graze, and they bring them back to spend the night in this little pen, not little, but a large pen, and then after a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, they poop and they pee and they fertilize the crap, pun intended, they fertilize the crap out of that little area. Then they move the pen, and then they walk them out and graze, and they bring them back for the night. And every time they move the pen, the area that they spent the night for the previous weeks is super fertile, and now they can grow stuff. They can grow crops, they can grow grazing land, they can grow grass and vegetables. They grow stuff. Now the soil is now fertile. That makes the cow carbon negative, right? So I also have to mention that everything that eats excretes. Yeah, everything in has to go out. I don't give a shit if you're a cow or a bug. If you eat something, you got to poop something. You also have bacteria in your gut, which creates methane and carbon, and so you're burping, you're farting. Yeah, bugs do that too. So I defy you to raise, let's just take one cow as an example. Let's just take a 1,200 pound beef cow. I defy you to raise me 1,200 pounds of protein from bugs inside of an air-conditioned building with people who work all day long to keep those bugs alive, and people outside the building who have to harvest grass and leaves to feed those bugs. Yeah? Because they got to eat. So I defy you, I dare you to show me an experiment where you can go inside of an air-conditioned building with employees, bunches, and people outside the building to provide food. We're talking trucking it in, harvesting grass and leaves, trucking it in, feeding the bugs. I defy you to raise me 1,200 pounds of protein from insects without going over the quote-unquote carbon limit that a supposed cow puts out. Because after all a cow needs is a field. Let me walk around in the sun and munch on grass. That's all I need. But if you want to raise insects in a controlled environment, you're going to need a building, you're going to need air conditioning, you're going to need a whole bunch of employees, you're going to need people outside the building bringing in food for those insects to munch on. I defy you to show me the fucking scientific paper that shows that you can raise 1,200 pounds of protein in insects. What the hell? Sorry about that. I defy you. I dare you. I double dog dare you to raise 1,200 pounds of protein in insect protein compared to one cow who walks around the field. I dare you. You know, I haven't even looked up, like, just the United States alone, how much meat we consume in the United States and how many bugs it's going to take to match that level of protein intake, and how many structures, how many buildings, how many people, how much farm equipment. You're going to have fields and fields of grass and leaves and equipment to harvest that shit and then truck it into the building so the bugs have something to eat. Because you're not going to raise bugs to replace the protein without feeding them. They need a lot of food. We're talking millions and millions and millions of pounds of protein per year. They got to eat. And again, I'll just remind you, raising bugs for protein, you got to do that in a building where people work. So they have to be air conditioned, it has to be heated in the winter. People work there, has to be all climate controlled. You got to have a building. Somebody has to build the building. Somebody has to have fields of grass and stuff to provide food. Somebody has to have equipment to harvest that fields and grass of food and truck it into the building to feed the bugs. Get the fuck out of here. How about you just let the cow walk around, fertilize the soil while he's munching on grass, and leave nature alone? That's it. That's the message. Leave nature alone. Stop fucking with nature. Stop acting like you're better than nature, because you're not. Take care.